Hello there. Thank you for joining me. Our painting today is just going to be a real fun painting. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. The name of it is Wash Day. Let's go right to the palette and get started. First thing I'm going to do is dip my brush into water because we're starting with acrylic this time. Excuse me, I'm using a mixture of white, burnt umber, and Payne's Gray acrylic. What I'm doing is mixing a soft gray. Putting the burnt umber in it to take a little bit of the black cast out of it. Okay, now keep in mind this is acrylic, white, burnt umber, and Payne's Gray. What I've done is I've done a little preliminary work. I painted this is going to be a little barn here. No, it's not a barn, it's a little cabin. I painted it with black acrylic. After the acrylic dried, I painted it with cracks. That's a cracking medium that I used. I've done the same thing on the tree. Now I'm going to give it a coat of a lighter colored acrylic. And you're going to be able to watch it crack. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's almost like magic, so let's go with it. First thing I'll do is put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. I'm putting it on fairly heavy. Try to make one stroke count. Now, can you see it starting to crack already? Are you tight enough on that shot? That's technical talk. See it cracking? Isn't that beautiful? I'll let you watch that just a minute and then I'll continue. As the lighter colored acrylic dries, I don't know what happens, but it starts this cracking process and gives you the effect of old weathered wood. You can use this on other things too, like I'm going to use it on the tree. You can use it on, later on in the series, I'm going to use it on a porcelain pitcher. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. You want to watch it crack another minute? I just love to watch it. It's so exciting. Okay, I'll go ahead and coat the tree so we can continue with our painting. The name of the medium now is cracks. C-R-A-X. Try to let one stroke count. Try not to go over it. Now, if I should paint over that again, I'm going to destroy the cracks that I've already placed in there. Okay, now this is important too. Anytime that you're using acrylic and oil at the same time, you're probably going to get mixed up and get into your oils and you'll try to paint it over the wet acrylic. Well, that just will not work. So what we're going to do is I've kind of sectioned off a spot on my palette, and that's telling me, Norma, don't get back into that. So now we're going to oil. And I'll get my mineral spirits out. Big brush. I think I'll even get a clean paper towel and do this thing right. Now I'm going to start painting in the horizon back here. Now I'm not finished with the cabin yet. We'll come back to that later. Going to start with white and Hansa yellow acrylic. Oh, sorry, oil. Got it on my mind. Got acrylic on my mind. White and Hansa yellow. We want to. This is a wash day, so we need the sun to dry our clothes, don't we? So too much sun. Too much sun. We don't want it that bright. Put a little more white in it. There we go. Okay, we're going to have background trees behind the cabin back in here, so what I'm doing is I pull very gently over the outline of those background trees with this yellow. Just kind of skim right over it. This is going to give us a beautiful sunshiny day. Skim right over those trees. Now that is important. If you don't do that, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have little bitty specks of white canvas showing. Okay, now my horizon's taken care of. So I'm going to white and yellow ochre this time. And I mix my paint with my brush. If you want to mix with the knife, that's your business. But this is just kind of a, well, kind of a haphazard way that I've developed, and it works for me. If you're kind of meticulous and methodical, then you use your knife. Okay, I'm going to fill in the rest of the sky now, down to my yellow. You don't have to take any great pains with this, just lay your color in. We'll do a little bit of blending later because we're going to add other color. We're going to add another color to the sky, and probably two. Okay, that's looking good. Now, while I'm working with the sky and I have a little bit of yellow ochre on my brush, I'm going to load it now with the mixture of burnt sienna and alizarin crimson. I'm going to whip a little color up here in the top sky. Burnt sienna and alizarin crimson makes a beautiful color. Just whip a little across there. And as I approach the middle sky, right down in here, I ease the pressure on my brush. Up in here, I use heavy pressure. See how dark that is? Okay, down in here, light pressure to get a light, soft effect. Let's go on across with it. It looks good. Let's just take it on across a little bit. This is helping me to establish a cloud pattern at the same time I'm laying pretty colors in the sky. Now I'm going to lay that brush aside and go to the fan brush and see if I can get a cloud established, and I know I can, using clean white paint. And I'm going to have to reload quite often because I'm just going to use the corner of the brush to do this. Just kind of tap the cloud in using the corner of the fan brush. Okay, now I'll just kind of roll that cloud downward till the bottom of the cloud melts into the wet paint underneath. Pretty as it can be. I like it and I love it. Okay, I'm going to smooth it out a little bit, and then I'm going to dry my fan brush. I might have to wash it. I believe I will. Smooth out the top of the sky just a tad. I really don't want to lose the effect that I have in the top, though. I like it. I like seeing the lighter sky peek through the darker color. And I don't want to lose that, but I want to take some of the brush strokes out of it. Soften it just a little bit. Now, if you want a mirror smooth sky, you can use vertical strokes like this. Straight across, I come down to the cloud. Now, I don't overlap the cloud because what would happen? This darker color would destroy my cloud. Don't want that to happen, so I wash the brush, start underneath the cloud with the vertical strokes. Almost like a mirror, it's so smooth. Okay, now back in here we're going to add some background trees. Let's do that right now. Let's use burnt umber and a little bit of yellow and a little bit of Payne's gray. That makes a real pretty green. Almost a sap green. Okay, let's lighten that up just a tad with a little bit of white. And lay our trees in back here. Isn't that a pretty green? So anytime you run out of sap, just mix your green. I used Payne's gray, burnt umber, and Hansa yellow. Bet you didn't know you could do that, did you? Any color can be mixed with the exception of the three primaries, which is the red, the blue, and the yellow. Other than that, sap green, viridian green, any colors can be mixed. It's a lot easier to buy them in the tube, don't you think? But sometimes you're painting and you get to a point that you don't want to have to stop and go to the art store. So if you know how to mix these things, all you have to do is just have at it of these colors. Now I'm stippling some tree shapes back in here to give us depth in our painting. And I want to nestle the cabin down in the trees. Okay, let's see, let's take this up a little bit higher on this side so it won't be so monotonous. Looking great. Now I'm going to work on across to this side, and then I'm going to go back and put a few little highlights on them. See, I'm not using a lot of paint on my brush either because I want these trees to appear to be way back in the distance. If I use heavy paint, it's going to make the trees appear to be closer to me than I want them. So have all kind of little tricks using thinner paint to get distance and softer in value by adding more white or yellow, whatever you need to soften your color a little bit. Okay, now they look awfully pretty, but they look sort of tooky. They don't have any interest in them. Let's put some highlights on them. Let's use a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of white. Oh, I like that. Let's add a little bit of yellow ochre to that mixture. Let the sun catch on it a little bit. And notice I'm just kind of catching the tops like the light's filtering through. Light's filtering through the treetops. Take this one up just a little bit higher so that we'll get a little bit of variety in the shapes. Variety in the shapes. Like it and love it. It's an exciting painting. Okay, I'm going to a bigger brush now and cover this area down in here. I'm going to start with the ground area using the same color, the sap green that I made from burnt umber, Payne's gray, and Hansa yellow. Since this area is in the background or the middle ground, I want it to be lighter, so I added the white. And we're going to work downward to the front of the canvas now. Now I'll go back and put highlights on all this business later, just trying to lay it in right now. Right on around the cabin. We're going to make a path right through here, so we'll just hold that open for right now. Let's catch the other side. Now this is where a lot of people go wrong too. You're going to have a post on the cabin right here, but you have to paint in that little grassy patch between the cabin and the post, or it just won't work. And sometimes people finish their painting and they have a white rectangular spot left that they have not even painted. Just leave it unpainted, just as big as I. Let's take this on down a little bit. See, you don't have to be real careful laying this color in either, because we're going to do some more work on it too. Just trying to get it covered right now. All right, we want our path to lay flat, so what are we going to have to do? You're going to have to thin it and make angles out of it. If you have curves, if you make curves, your path is going to stand up like it's a steep hill. I think we're in good shape there. Let's move right on along and fill in the path. Now let's use burnt sienna, a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of white, and a little bit of yellow ochre. I am a pretty messy painter. If you look at my palette, you can see it. But I like to be messy. I hope you'll try this one. I love it. It's fun to do, fun to work with. Now see, my strokes are going what? Horizontal. And I have a reason for doing that. Okay, burr number, here you go. Going to go a little bit darker now. Burr number and a little bit of alizarin in the foreground. The reason for the horizontal strokes is to give you the flat effect. If I use vertical strokes, my path would stand straight up. There we go, right on into the grass area. Just sweep your edges together. Okay, I'm going to a smaller brush now, to my trusty little crooker, and fill in my roof of this cabin. This is the mixture that I used in the path. I already have it mixed up, so I might as well just use it. I'm going to thin that paint just a little bit. My paint is not thick paint, it's real creamy. But for this particular effect, I want it to be even thinner, so I just added a little bit of my thinner that I use for my brushes to it. There you go. Going to let that dry just a little bit, and while that's drying, I think if this acrylic is dry enough now, and I think it is, we can get us some shadows on our cabin. But now remember, your acrylic has to be dry before you can do this shadowing bit. Acrylic dries so rapidly, you don't have a real long waiting period there either. I'm going to darken this side of the cabin just a little bit. Looking great. Let's put us a little break in the roof here. And a little shadow for it. Crooked as it can be, let's straighten it up. There you go. Okay, while we're doing that, let's darken this side of the tree a little bit. And sort of pat it together. Now, okay, catch it. I missed it. Now, if I want to, and I think I do, I can add some color to this tree. Get a little sun catch on it. Now, this is a yellow ochre wash, and I'm using oils. You have to keep in mind oils from here on out after you use the acrylic the first time. See, it's not disturbing the cracked effect at all. All right, now while that's drying, because this is the wash day, nope, I better change my plotting and planning there. I think I better put a highlight back here on these banks first, and then we'll go to the clothesline right in here. The reason I'm going to do this is my clothesline might interfere with it. We just don't want any problems, because then I'd have to say my favorite word that I learned from my friend Nancy. Everything that goes wrong, she says, hexcatoodle. Okay, that's looking great. Well, since we got that highlight, let's go ahead and put this one. Might as well work on highlights, and then we'll jump back up to the clothesline. Okay, let's go to a small, no, let's see, this will be fine. What we want to try to do is use some of the colors that we've used in the painting. I'm going to use blue and white, Okay, let's move the, wonder which side it'd look better on. I believe I'd like it over here. Nah, let's put it over here. Now let's put it over here. Behind the house. You wouldn't hang clothes in front of your house, would you? Yellow, ochre, burnt sienna, alizarin, all of the colors that you've used in the painting. Now don't take any pains with these clothes either. Just hang them out on the line. Put you some long johns if you want to, but this is a summer day and I don't think they would be wearing long johns in the summer. Just kind of use the colors that you've used in the painting. Now what's going to hold it? You're going to have a line, aren't you? How about a script liner for that in thinner paint? Not the acrylic. See, I told you to get into it. I do it every time. Even went to the trouble to mark it off and got into it anyway. Okay, clothesline, straighten up. There you go. In post. Leaning just like it would in the country. And supports. Okay, now let's put a little blue on the roof. Cerulean blue and white. And a little bit on the porch roof. How about a little on the overhang? How about a little on the top of the roof? How about making this house look like it's has some shape to it rather than flat? Let's darken this side a little bit more right here. All right, now let's put some foliage or bushes or something like, oh, they would have in the country. Anywhere, it don't necessarily have to be the country. And let's put a shadow under it. Okay, let's get a porch established. Get out of that acrylic, Norma Jean. Why in the world you just want to go directly to that acrylic? I do not know, but you do it. Here comes your porch out here. Started to do it again. I'm going to have to pop my hand. Post on your porch. Steps on your porch. Coming down the porch. I think we're going to need a few highlights. Let's use the yellow and the yellow ochre. Give it a little pizzazz. Give it a little interest. How about a little bit over here? How about some light places in the path? How about a door on this cabin? Don't you think that'd be a good idea? How are we going to get in and out? Declare. How about a window to peek out of? How about straightening that window up? Don't you think that'd be a good idea? All right, let's finish up our tree over here. Let's get us some limbs. And don't stand them all straight up. Let them kind of cross and twist and turn. I'm going to put a few little flowers here and there. Just have to do this. I have no choice. This is part of my MO. Part of my method of operation. What do you call it? Well, my husband could tell you. I can't remember, modus operandi or something like that. I just say I want to do it, so I do it. Okay, how about some pink ones? Little bit of color here and there. Let's put a twig or two on the tree. Coming right out over this dark area here. And let it kind of wiggle. You'd always have these twigs on your trees, and I think they add so much to your painting. And then when you paint this, you can take your time. You can add fence post over here. You can add birds in your sky. You can just do anything you want to it to take it to completion. I mean, to, you know, complete it the way that you want it to look. It's your painting, so you can do anything you want to it. But I do hope you'll try it. I've enjoyed showing you how to do it, and I hope you'll do it. I just hope you'll have a real good time with it. Okay, I believe that's about it for today. Looks good to me. I've enjoyed being with you, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.